Hey, welcome to another adventure in old code. Well, today we are going to conclude, I hope, Pong. 4 episodes on Pong is certainly enough, I think. It's not that complicated of a concept to require 4 episodes, but we did. So the only thing left to do now is to look at the 2-player version. And I'm hoping it won't take too long. Last time we finished the 1-player, we talked about the palette statement and how awesome that was and how we can change those colors. Today we are going to hopefully do this. All right, let's have a look and see what's going on here. So 2 players this time. Let's play to 5 points. Now, I'm going to have to play... Oh, my word. Yeah. Okay, let's find that... let's find a slowdown. So there's 1, 2... There's a few slowdowns. Okay. We will increase every slowdown by 10, as is our usual. Actually, this one... Yeah, let's do it. There's this one. Is that what I just did? Okay, there's only 2. Let's see if this is better. 2 players. We will play to 5 points. There we go. Oh, so left player missed it. See, I am playing by myself. The 2-player version. Oops, I forgot to... Whoa, whoa. Oh, I missed it. What? All right, well, you get the idea. It's not that complicated. Now, just so that you guys know, I only need to make sure the direction is correct. These paddles move on their own, so I'm only hitting the button when I want a direction change. And it looks like the victory screen is not really in existence. And clearly I'm right-handed, so you'd think the right-handed player would win, but I seem to... We'll see. I seem to forget about one when I'm controlling the other. Oh, now it's a tie, and the left one won again. So clearly that's twice in a row. My left hand is a better Pong player than my right hand. Excellent. Okay, let's see this awesomeness. So just to recap, the main subroutine is small, and you were shunted into this 2 subroutine right away to take care of the entire game. So let's see. Up and down is H and P. Oh, those dual codes. That's the up and down arrow keys. And I believe U and D were... Yeah, they were 2-element arrays. So I think it's pretty obvious that U1 and D1 are the first players' up and down buttons, and I'm sure we're going to set the U and D 2 elements to be W and S is what I was hitting. Okay, so play to how many points? That is our goal. Clearing the screen, XFAC and YFAC as always. Ball X. So XFAC and YFAC are the it's been a long time since I looked at the code for the single player, but I believe that's the change in speed of the ball every time through the loop. Okay, the ball X is in the middle, and he starts randomly somewhere along the vertical axis, but he always starts in the middle, the ball. X1 and X2, Y1 and Y2. So these are the paddle positions. 5 and 240 and 635 and 240. So 5 pixels in from the edge of the screen is where we're going to draw the paddles. And we start in the middle. The paddles do start in the middle. And we draw the line from the x-coordinate to y minus 30 to the x-coordinate y plus 30. So these paddles are 60 pixels long. There's no way to customize them. They're just 60 pixels. And they are centered at the y coordinate. Okay, so that's the first player's paddle on the left side of the screen and the right player's panel on the right side of the screen. Print the scores of each player, which we saw. Miss string. Okay, this is the game loop. Apparently we have a miss string, and it's set to no. And by default. Okay, every time through the loop, we are going to draw the paddles. Wait for a key press. Now this could be a key press from either player. And that's why we're not waiting until a key press is happening. We're just did a key press happen? We're going to take some actions if it did happen, but if it didn't, we're going to carry on with life. So look to see if there's any input. Now, if there was an input, let's figure out what it was. If it was a W, this is the left player, player 1, going up. So we will do a check on his y coordinate just to make sure if he's bigger than 35. Then we're going to YFA. Right. So YFAC is the y speed of the ball. YFA is the y speed of the left player's paddle, and it looks like YFA2 is the speed of the right player's paddle. Lovely. So we're moving 5 pixels at a time. So the speed of the paddle's movement is also constant throughout this game. There's no changing, there's no customizing, it's just 5. 5 pixels per loop. But we're going to change it to be -5 or 5. If it's -5, it's going to add it to his Y position every time. I mean, same thing with +5. Okay, but only if he's got room to move up top are we going to set his Y speed to -5. Okay, similarly, his Y speed is set to 5 if he's hit S, which means he wants to go down. Oh, interesting. Okay. Wait a second. We had U and D be 2-element arrays. We saw that. Whoops. That's totally here. That was here. Okay. Clearly, my mind was thinking that there's going to be 2 players. They need 2 ups and 2 down keys. When I was doing the first player, this is the first player now. I don't know where did I set that. U1 and D1, I do use that for your 1-player version. Where does that get set? Actually, that's very curious. Where does it get? Oh, it gets set right here in the main subroutine. So we set it. Then we go to 2. And we just set it again. And then we don't set the second elements because we're just going to use W and S. We don't even care about the second elements. So I made them arrays, 2-element arrays, thinking about 2 players, but then I just didn't even use the second one. This seems like shoddy work. Oh well. Okay, U1, right-hand player is moving up, right-hand player is moving down, and it's the same check. Same things are going on. This is a check. Okay, now we're going to check to see if our paddle is at an extreme up or down. And if it is, in either case, then the Y speed is just 0. Okay, we're not going to be moving anymore. And that's what these checks are. Oh, interesting. We only set the speed to 0. So in this first case, if we're at the bottom of the screen and we were moving, then set our speed to 0. Now this check isn't really necessary. We could have just ignored that and just said, look, are we at the bottom? Set our speed to 0 all the time. It doesn't really matter, not even speed-wise, because what's faster, to check something or to set something? Not sure. I mean, it is CPU dependent, but doing a quick check or a quick set, I think to retrieve a value from a register in the CPU or to set the value, I think is the same amount of time. So whatever. Okay. All right. So we calculate our speed, and then we are going to draw the ball. X, ball Y, 5 pixel radius, just like the first player, the one player version, and he's purple. Color 12. Okay, then we're going to wait for a bit, and we are going to erase the paddles. Then we are going to add the YFA and YFA2 to the, we're going to update the Y positions of each player's paddle. And this is either going to be 0 or -5 or +5. Okay, if the ball X is greater than some threshold off the right-hand side of the screen, so the ball has reached the right side of the screen, and this check, we saw this before. We're just going to check to see if the ball's Y coordinate is within the length of the coordinate of the middle of his paddle. If you remember that the middle of the paddle, that is the coordinate, and we draw 30 pixels up and 30 pixels down. So it is that middle coordinate of the paddle that specifies where the paddle is. So if the ball's Y position is greater than 30 pixels away from that middle position, he's going to be too far away from the center of the paddle, and he's going to miss the paddle. And in that case, XFAC equals X. All right, granted, I just thought XFAC and YFAC were the speed of the ball. Yeah, it looks like he speeds up. Okay, so what happens is, oh, sorry, this check is less than or equal to 30. So this is what happens when the player actually hits the ball with his paddle. Then XFAC is going to increase by 1, and it's going to go negative. So the ball was moving in towards the right-hand side. Now it's going to flip negative, and it's going to start moving to the left if it bounces off the right paddle. If it's greater than 29 and it's greater than 30, okay, so this is where the right-hand player misses the ball. Then score 2 is the left, okay. Oh, yeah. So player 2 is the left-hand side in code. Okay, score 2 gets increased by 1, and miss equals yes. So miss is obviously just a flag that says whether someone's missed or not this loop. Okay, now if the ball, these are going to be analogous on the left side of the screen. Same thing. This time we're subtracting 1 from XFAC. Really the goal is to increase the absolute value of the XFAC to speed up the ball. It looks like every time we bounce off a paddle, we're going to get faster and faster and faster. Until someone can't handle it anymore. But because XFAC is negative when it's moving left, to increase the absolute value, we have to subtract. Okay. Okay, so that is the same analogous piece of code for the left-hand side. Now, if the ball is greater than 469, or the ball is less than 6, oh, this is the bounce check for the vertical axis for the ball. So did the ball bounce off the top or the bottom of the screen? Then negate his Y speed. Then we're going to erase the ball. We're going to add these new speeds to the current position of the ball. And I guess we will all the way up at top. Then we wait and we draw these things, wait for a key press. Only then do we draw the circle. You know what? If you'll notice, the ball is very choppy. Things are not so great. I'm going to die here. Actually, we can see this speed up. Actually, yeah, it does get faster. Whoops. Okay, let's die. Okay. If I take this ball, I'll keep drawing it here, but I think I want to also draw it right as soon as because I erased it. Let's draw it right away after I calculate the new positions. Let's see. We'll only play to 3 points. Yeah, I think the ball is more consistently on the screen without any blinkings. But I do have a lot of blinking on the paddles. So let's see if we can figure that out. The blinking of the paddles, we are erasing the paddles here. And then we're not drawing them again until... yeah, the next time through the loop. So let's do this. We'll erase the paddles, calculate the new positions, and draw the paddles. I mean, that makes sense. Have the paddles erased for the smallest amount of time necessary. Now that is more like it. Yes, there is some little blinking, but this is clearly superior than what we originally ran. So that was a poor decision on my part too. And you can see that the ball is getting faster as I hit it. Whoops. The mechanics are right. Things were just a little bit out of whack. So that is two-player Pong. Looks like we keep looping until the score, first player's score is goal, or the second player's score is goal. Good. Well, this didn't take nearly as long as the one-player version, and there's no mysterious ball X less than 11 or G equals 1. So that's fantastic. There's actually nothing mysterious about this code at all. Except why I didn't use U of 2 and D of 2. Okay, well there's nothing else to do here. I think this is this wraps it up with Pong in general. So thanks for joining me in this adventure in old code. Have a nice day, and we'll see you next time for something non-Pong.